Good afternoon, everyone. Happy weekend. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. I'm trying to, after last night's shocking loss by India in the T20 in the cricket. Selection of the Indian cricket team. What did you do, really? It really was lost in a lot of areas this game, no doubt about that. But before I get into that, let me just first talk about, like I do on my every channel, let me first talk about my tutoring school that I run, where enrollments are open. It's an academic tutoring school where the subject years 5 to 12 mathematics is tutored. Group classes and private or individual individual classes are offered throughout the year. Enrollments are open, so if you have any child or anyone, or you know of anyone who might be interested, please do forward it to them, or please ask them to get in touch with my wife or myself. We'll be happy to assist. My wife looks after the enrollments and the admin side of the school, so she'll be helping. We'll be communicating with that on that front, and I'll be looking after the class syllabus and the fees side of things. Okay. Now, last night, absolutely outplayed. Okay, credit to the Australians. They won the toss. It was asked, do they do a wise thing of bowling, given it was a batting wicket? Well, guess what? The result said maybe yes, absolutely. They won it. Yes, India scared them a little bit towards the end, but really, the way they started their run chase, it was game over. It was even more game over when India lost the first few wickets after making somewhat a promising start, to be very honest. And led by an absolute young gun, who I'm just seeing for the first time live in a stadium, Abhishek Sharma. Mate, if it wasn't for your performance, this game should have been over in 1 hour, because that's how diabolical the other batting was from the Indian cricket team. And credit to Harshit Rana. I think him and Abhishek Sharma posed the most runs in partnership, probably more than 50. So credit to the Harshit Rana. Although he didn't get a 50, he at least gave him support. Because guess what? Poor gentleman, Abhishek Sharma did not get any support from anyone. Everybody else around him who were expected to play good knocks, and especially experienced, like Surya Kumar Yadav, then Verma and all that, absolutely, lost it at, the shot execution. Surya Kumar Yadav played a very irresponsible captain's knock yesterday after hitting the first few, boundaries. So, poor Abhishek Sharma, he literally carried the bat, if you don't mind. And if it wasn't for that, Australia would have wrapped up the run chase within half an hour, because that's how cruising it was for Australia. This was like bowling practice for them, if you don't mind. 4 for 47 at one stage India were, and it led to what? 9 for all out 126? 4 for 47 on most occasions. Most teams deserve to crumble for under 100 runs. That's how diabolical a scorecard that is, especially in a format like T20, for goodness sake. So, all I'll say is, Abhishek Sharma, take a bow. And to be honest, for anyone, any cricket lovers, anyone who's followed the Indian cricket team, anyone who's heard of the players, if there were any questions that you had for asking, or any inquiries or doubts or whatever there might be that you had about this young gentleman who's so talented, well, I guess what? I'm going to show you a clip of his innings last night, and hopefully this clip will help you remove any doubts or hesitations about this young lad. Yes, it was for only one game, but hopefully it does. Won't be a moment.
This man doesn't adjust his game whether the wickets are falling or not. Charged and then changed his mind and just elegantly flicked it over the top for another boundary. And then pitches outside off stump, and that's easy runs for Abhishek Sharma. So a positive end to the over. Dominated by the Australians. Oh, gee, that's carved away. That's some shot. Especially when you look at the scoreboard. Well, I think we know what your man Abhishek Sharma. Oh, past the diving keeper. So close for Hazelwood. So close. Sliced away with power by Abhishek Sharma. Strike Sharma for about 60% of the runs. And that more of them. He drops short Mitchell and he just taps him round the corner. So Abhishek Sharma continuing along, lifting the big MCG crowd. He moves to 46. India at the halfway mark.
The rule will tell you it's 50 for Abhishek Sharma. He's sixth in this format. To go with a couple of hundreds and...
Do you see that? What a fantastic knock that was. And it's not just the shots he played, the way he went about it, to sort of give him, to expose his stumps and literally take on the pace bowling lone-handedly is a real testimony, not to just his skill and competency, but his character. To do that as an opener when the ball is very new, and to also do that when he's not got any support around him, keep in mind, this is just hats off to him. He's a very young guy, I think in his early 20s. If he can keep this form up week in, week out, and of course there will be some bumps along the way, he's still young. Just imagine when he gets close to 30 years of age. I'll leave that to you to imagine what sort of cricketer he's going to be. Absolute talented gentleman. I've heard of a lot of good things about him, but yesterday is the first time in my life I've gone and seen him live in a stadium in cricket. So I'm glad it was yesterday because it ended up being a game where he had one of the best knocks in his life, no doubt. Yeah, India didn't win the game. They didn't win the game at all. But fantastic, knocks by Abhishek Sharma is what got India going, to be honest. In terms of the bowling, it was pretty disastrous too. Didn't start the way they did. Given 129 is not really a match-winning score, or anywhere in the 120s as such, it goes to show how well India need to defend and strike first blood, literally first blood. Unfortunately, they didn't. They bowled a few wides and they were giving easy boundaries. And then when the game was over, they got a few wickets later in the end. But really, the game was already put to bed. Australia looked in total control. And I just want to take this opportunity to credit Australia for their performance. It wasn't perfect. They made a few errors here and there, but it matters not. Hey, they got the victory. They'll take it. I know people will think, oh, they only won by 4 wickets. India rocked them. They were rocked, but they were rocked pretty late. The game was already put to bed, guys. So credit to them. I thought, they won the toss. It can be a gamble to always bowl first in any form of cricket. Experience tells me that. My knowledge of the game also tells me that. But it can also pay off. And guess what? It paid off to Australia. And one other thing I wanted to mention yesterday was I just felt India most times played it into Australia's hands and worrying about their strengths. Not realising that, hey, we have strengths that can make Australia worried. It's like in any sport. They were focused into the opposition's strengths, and guess what? They played it into their hands. And guess what? A team like Australia won't mind that. They'd love it. They will, that will be a big feast for them. They will thrive on that because you're playing it into their hands. You just make it easy for them. And some of the way Australia chased the runs yesterday was pretty effortless, very, very effortless. For them, they didn't look panicked. They looked under control. Yeah, they lost a few wickets in between, but their mindset was like, okay, I think we've got this. We've restricted India to a very modest total, and I think it's just a matter of just chasing it out sensibly, and they did that in the end. Yes, with some late wickets, but they did that in the end. So overall, very disappointing night for India. Absolutely outplayed, no doubt. Nothing went right with the bat except for Abhishek Sharma's 60-80 he made, along with the amazing partnership between him and Harshit Rana. So the next T20 tomorrow, which I want to preview, is the game at Hobart tomorrow, Sunday 2nd November at 7:15. So if I just put it up here for a sec, if you just go here for a sec, I'll have a look at the game, the timing. It's at 7:15 tomorrow. Big game. It's absolute redemption time for India. There's no excuses. Lose this, right? And India have no choice but to at least win the next two, or actually win the next two to tie the series. If Australia win tomorrow, you can be assured they're in the driver's seat to wrap this series up. But if India win, well, guess what? We're in for something exciting because they're going to square the ledger. But all pressure's on India now, more than Australia. Australia will be very keen to try and go another game up. For them, they'll just try and feast off this. But India, time to redeem yourselves. Think about what it means to start the game well. Think about what it means to bat responsibly, especially leaders like Surya Kumar Yadav, who's the captain. Think about what it means to bowl tight, even if you don't pose the best score with the bat. You've got to fix up some of the elements of their game, which really costed them yesterday, to be honest. So, selection, yes. You know, there were a lot of times yesterday I really missed guys like Ravi Jadeja. People like, Rishabh Pant, who's a very solid hitter. Guys like Mohammad Shami. There was a lot of other guys I really missed who could have looked at the situation and really won this game for India. You sort of think Australia won by 4 wickets and India, made 129. Who knows? Another 30-40 runs, it would have been even more game on, but India didn't get to that. So tomorrow's game is absolutely huge. Hobart is a lovely city. I've been to Tasmania myself. It's a lovely city, capital of Tasmania. The ground is it will probably favour a bit more pace. So I think the very important part is India should think about their strengths more than worrying about Australia's strengths. Think about your strengths that can get the opposition worried. Because I tell you what, Team India is very talented. It didn't show up as much yesterday, except by one batsman, as I mentioned in this video earlier. But tomorrow's a chance to redeem themselves. And if they don't, the pressure will just raise. It will just go through the roof for them. Okay? Australia will come in. Now, you can ask, is the same pressure there for Australia? Maybe. But they've already won one game. They've secured a victory. They'll just try and build off that. But for India, they were outplayed yesterday. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Please comment your thoughts. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel. It'll be great. The more subscribers, the better. And please feel free to circulate this to any of your friends, well-wishers or loved ones who might be interested. That'll be fine. No issues with that. My next video will be reviewing tomorrow night's game at the Hobart. Hopefully talking about an Indian victory and redemption type performance. And during that video, I'll also preview the next game, which happens to be, I think, at Gold Coast or at the Gabba. Let me just have a quick look. At the Gold Coast. So tomorrow, I'll be doing not tomorrow, probably Monday. I'll be doing a preview or review of tomorrow's game, along with a preview of the game after at Gold Coast. So that's how my videos are going to be for the T20 series in that format. Okay. So take care, guys. Great to see you all. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak soon. Till then, have a lovely rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.